relationships don't exist. Of course they do. No, they don't. If a woman earns less, do you expect her to put 50% of the rent in? No, but I would expect her to contribute with a lower percentage. Okay, let's say that you can go 50-50 financially, but the moment you have kids, bye-bye 50-50. Why? Well, I think about my mother. The wife usually takes care of the children more than 50% of the time. True. See, it can be 50-50. Yes, it can, but with proper planning. I think people are planning plenty. Maybe the practical things, but I don't think they discuss changes in lifestyle. What do you mean? I mean, the majority doesn't even know why they're having a child in the first place. They think it's going to help with their relationship. They're very excited to see their first, but there is no real discussion about change in lifestyle. Change in lifestyle? There is no change in lifestyle. Well, with that mentality, we will never have 50-50 relationships. Because nobody's willing to change their lifestyle. Yes and no at the same time. I mean, the unfairness when it comes to the pregnancy topic is the fact that a woman will have to change her lifestyle regardless. It starts physically through the pregnancy, and then you give birth, and then you maybe breastfeed and so on. You literally have no choice but to change because everything about you is changing. For men, however, there's no physical or pressing need to change lifestyle. It's more of an option, so the majority usually doesn't, which will make her feel extremely alone, ending the 50-50 relationship. But, well, what can a man do, though? Change lifestyle. It might not be so obvious for you as a man, but you're supposed to be a team. If everything is changing for her, how come that nothing is changing for you? Because men usually don't have that bond with the child. Trust me when I say women neither. That's why the vast majority has postpartum depression. Because we have no idea on what to do. It's not like we have a magical guide that downloads information once we have a child. We just put in the effort, which would be very welcome from men as well. Then how do mothers do it? Again, they change lifestyle. They start self-sacrificing, living through or for the child, giving up hobbies, while their husbands continue their lives unbothered. They just help with the child. They never parent. But then how can a man help? Oh my god, I mean parent, sorry. Well, the work starts well before the child arrives. If during the pregnancy a woman will have to stop eating certain foods, maybe it's a good moment for the dad to revise their diet too. The point is that each partner should come up with preparations to do during the pregnancy. So be engaged from the first moment. Yes, but also talk parental duties, because things are not going to magically fall into place once the child is there. And also if the dad is the breadwinner of the family, take that into consideration as well, because having a job will not get you out of parenting. You can clock out from office, but you never clock out from being a parent. So a man should consider if they have the right energy levels for having a child and work at the same time. Definitely, but also make sure to discuss changes that need to occur, like what are you going to prioritize from now on? How are you going to make decisions? I mean, everything has to change. Most frustrations come from the fact that a woman is attached to the child all day while her partner just goes to the gym or meets with friends. That just cannot happen. For a while, both partners will have to sacrifice their time for the kid, give up on certain things, and that's because personal time becomes so precious and you need to make sure that that is split 50-50 too. Yeah, it's not fair otherwise. It isn't. That's why there are a lot of discussions around the 50-50 relationship, but that doesn't mean that it cannot exist. Can't believe that I thought that 50-50 relationship.
Hey, my friends, welcome to the RP Experience. Peace and love to my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, being here today. And today's video is going to be about the 50-50 relationship doesn't work. This might be a two-parter because I wanted to use Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, but I'm not trying to make this video too long. So I'm going to do like the first part, and then later I'll do like a part 2 on this. And I did this video before, but it was incomplete because I could not I didn't have all of the correct examples I wanted to use for this. So I think today I'm a lot more prepared. Anyway, I have 3 videos here. They are short. And first, this is how I was brought up with the 50-50. And of course, I believe a lot of men that believe in that 50-50 relationship was raised by single moms. Now, they believe in different degrees on what the 50-50 was. Me, I had no problem covering all of the bills. The thing was, I guess because I saw my mom work so hard and then have to do like the housework or something, I wanted to help her. So in turn, with the women that I got real serious with, I would pay everything and then help with the chores. I really didn't have an issue with that. Even though I'm not always the neatest person, because I'm like real organized, but I've never been nasty. So, but sometimes I might have like too many papers or uh, a corner of the room that for some reason is hard for me to maintain. But anyway, um, so usually the women that, well, there's only really one that I live with extended period of time. She helped me with that part of my life of keeping things nice and tidy, you know. Now, not that that was something that I told her to do. Fortunately, she wanted to do that. And that's something too. When we get into this gender role stuff, because I do believe in that, at the same time, I don't want to have to tell her, like, hey, you need to cook or you need to do this. She should automatically do it. And things like that she did do, even though I recall when we were first going on, because this was an interracial relationship, she did a thing most melanated women would do right out the gate. She would say, like, well, I don't cook. Like, okay, I can cook my own food. Actually, that always made me feel a certain kind of way because with my mom, I learned how to do a lot of things myself. So I kind of didn't need a woman for much to do. I just need her to tweak certain things in my life. And pretty much with like paying stuff, I can handle stuff on my own. But of course, when you are in a relationship, it becomes like double trouble. But anyway, let me get this first video going.
Going 50-50 with a man in a healthy relationship doesn't exist. And this is going to be so controversial, but let's fucking do it. A man that is willing to go 50-50 with a woman is a man that still yet doesn't have the intention of being a financial provider. When a man says, I want my woman to provide for herself while still expecting her to raise his children, he's basically saying, I want my wife to be half of the man for me while still being all of the woman. This is an unbalanced equation of the feminine and masculine dynamic. When the woman is working to provide the other 50% while raising children, it will put her on survival mode and she cannot fulfill her divine purpose as a mother to carry, nurture, and raise her children to be the highest reflection of their father. And then men say, I will not provide for you, I will not marry you, and I will not lead you. But I will fuck you, and if you get pregnant, we'll figure it out with no plan because I'm a man that lacks intention. This is why we have so many broken families and our communities are degrading. The masculine energy in our society is weak. It's why so many women have daddy issues. There's no real discipline, no focus, and no leadership from men anymore. At least not many. Instead, society wants to push women to be more masculine instead of providing the masculine support needed to uplift and protect their feminine.
Actually, that lady is right under that scenario. Now, bear in mind, sometimes people do not have kids, but I don't think a lot of people do put a lot of thought into if you're struggling now and then you have kids, it's going to be far worse. I definitely should have put thought into that before I had a kid, but I don't know. I would do a lot of things differently. Um, and that's the thing too. I that's why I guess it's like two separate 50-50 relationship type of things. Cause I've also heard women use this too, but it's more of a thing as the man, he's going to cover the bills. He's going to do his masculine role of supposedly paying everything, covering everything, and then he's going to turn around and help her with the home duties, which depending on the situation, like, and that's the thing too, everybody's life is a little bit different. I mean, if she's a stay-at-home mom, or she doesn't work at all, and it would be the same thing if for some reason he doesn't have a job and she's working, then whoever's home should be doing most of the house duties. That's what I would say. Now, if both of them is working, then obviously they have to divvy it up. But at the same time, yes, women don't want to split on the bills. And me, I guess, and I believe a lot of men feel this way, at least in not generation Z, I believe. Well, the generation that the youngest generation right now. Now, they may not look at like, but millennials and on back, I believe most of us as men feel like we have to uh pay and cover all the bills and all of the expenses. That's just built into us to do. The only thing I would say though is if I have a woman by me, and if for some reason my hours get cut, I um I can't work that job or something because of an injury, and if it's something that happens that I need her to come over and assist me momentarily till I get my footing, yeah, that's what I would expect the woman to do. But fellas, you have to remember a lot of women will not do that. So a lot of them will either, and they may not leave you right away, but they'll mentally leave the relationship and they'll start building something with somebody else, and then monkey branch. So anyway, let me get to this second video here that I'm going to show.
Men feel like women have a problem going 50-50 on the bills. They say it make me a roommate. That's not the case. I don't think modern women have a problem going 50-50 on the bill. They have a problem with going 50-50 on the bills, but they don't get 50% of the say. 50% of now you cooking for her, you cleaning for her, you taking the kids 50% of the times. The problem is when you agree to get into this 50-50 relationship when it comes to financially, that's all you consider. That's what a lot of modern women have a problem with. You go ghost when it's time for me to get 50-50 in other things. You acting like you too much of a man to pick up a mop, to load the dishwasher, to help with the homework. But yet you ain't too much of a man to accept the half of a rent payment that I give you to our mortgage. That's the problem that a lot of modern women are facing today. He's going to say, well, I mow the grass and I clean the gutters, things that happen once a week. But I tell you,
Okay, it's always more annoying when it comes from men. And yes, this guy is caping right here. Now, he does make a point that with mowing the lawn or the gutters or something, that's like once a month. But see, this is the thing that I will agree with men that argue about this particular type of stuff. That is traditionally what a man does. So when I think about more and more, it's unfair that I have to do all the man stuff, and then the woman wants me to also do the women stuff. This is where I think the 50-50 relationship falls apart, because it feels like somebody's getting over it in a certain kind of way. And me, I was one of those guys. I didn't have a problem changing my daughter's diaper because I wanted to help parent. Now, the thing was, though, after I just worked like 8 or 10 hours after, I'm not even going to say what I had to go through to get to this particular job, because sometimes I had to walk and I had to climb over stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But after doing that and then come home and then have her hand the kid off to me and say she's going out with friends or something, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Let me get a breather when I come in. So while I agree with what he's saying to a degree, but in all these scenarios right here, he's addressing those men that just work, come home, read the paper, watch the football game, go to their man cave, and then go to bed and then tap their wife on the shoulder and say he wants some nookie or something like that. And as I say, I never had that issue getting some because I did a lot of the little things. But that's when it doesn't sound too even to me. It all depends. Like me, I'm pretty fair. So it depends what she's doing. If she's like worn out or something. But if I'm getting stretched thin doing a particular thing and then she wants me to all of a sudden do something as soon as I get my foot in the door or as soon as I wake up or something, then that's not going to work for me.
Marriage should be 50-50. It's the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard. It's never 50-50.
Yeah.
Ever. And so what we do is we quantify where we are. So if Steve comes home and he'll be like, I got 20.
Just in terms of energy.
Just energy, investment, kindness, patience. I'm at 20. And I'll be like, I'll cover you. I got you, brother. Like, I'll pull the 80. Sometimes we come home, which we have done a lot. My mom has been sick. And I'll say, I've got 10. And Steve, like 2 days ago, said, I'm riding a solid 25. So we know that we have to sit down at the table anytime we have less than 100 combined and figure out a plan of kindness toward each other.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because the thing is, marriage is not something that's 50-50. A partnership works when you can carry their 20 or they can carry your 20. And that when you both just have 20, you have a plan where you don't hurt each other.
Okay. Now, this is the only way I see, well, this is the major way that I see a 50-50 relationship can work. Like this woman say, and both people need to communicate. But to be honest, both people don't communicate. Maybe they do in the very beginning of the relationship to a degree, but once I guess they know each other well, they're scared the other person is going to leave, they're going to judge them. They know other people is putting stuff in their head and they're trying to prove them wrong. Cause that was a big issue in my relationship. Now, she may see it differently, but I know people being in my business was like a big thing. That's why really if I get involved with a woman, even how well we get along, I have to like break up with her or either I need to drop the ball and leave because I know how it ends. Even though she says that she won't do that, she will do it later once that honeymoon phase passes. That's how I always looked at 50-50 relationship or partnership is that, you know, we both have our roles that we should do, male, female. But and I do believe in any relationship, this right here definitely is true. Is no way somebody's 100% all of the time. One person might be sick. They might be depressed. They might be stressed out. They might have lost somebody in their family or something. I remember when an ex of mine, they had lost somebody that they was really close with. It took that person like a month and maybe a little bit longer to get over that or something. So, I mean, but as men though, we always have to be the stronger one, the rock that doesn't fade or crack. But even the best of us can't always be that way. And I know I'm honest enough to admit that while I can be strong, don't need anybody 70, maybe 80% of the time. It's going to be that 20 or 10% that either I'm going to either go MIA, nobody knows where I am, and it's hard to do that in a relationship because I tend to do that with people I know, that when I feel like a bit overwhelmed or something, then I'm not on social media, I'm not returning phone calls, I'm just working, concentrating on me, doing the things I have to do, but I'm like spent. But in a relationship, I don't have the luxury of doing that. So I have to try to put up that front that I'm invincible, and I know I'm not. Now, thing is though, you need a woman that understands that you are not indestructible, and that if you have a moment of weakness, that she can come in and help support you a little better. But however, as I say, most of us do not communicate, because that would take me being open enough to tell the person that. And how many women would be able to understand that? It'd be better if she could somewhat read me and know me enough to know when she has to do that. But I don't think there's too many women out there that's like that. And another thing I hate with the 50-50 relationship, that even if I'm doing my gender role and then helping her do her stuff, if I do happen to get overwhelmed, or I get into a financial hole, or something happens and then I do open up and say something, she can always turn on me and put her hands up like this, like, hey, that's not my problem. That's you, the man, you go handle it. And I'm supposed to be perfect in all ways in how I lead and how I do. Some men, they have a skill that they can definitely do that, but everybody has weaknesses. A man that may be able to do that may not be able to communicate to you in a effective or a way that won't bruise your ego or hurt your feelings. I think relationships work better if each person has a assigned role, and you guys have to have this conversation early in the relationship, because it seems like it's real hard to have this later in the relationship. Not as soon as not on your first date, but as soon as I guess once you get past that, I guess that 6 week or 6 month thing or something, this conversation, you need to have what you think each other's role should be. If the woman or the man roll out with I want to have a 50-50 relationship, you need to ask them specifically what that means and if you are down with it. Because what one person will say is 50-50, another person may not say. And as I say, I don't mind covering all the bills. It's just that if I hit a financial bump, I need her either to assist me or either to get out the way and don't be making it hard for me to make decisions that I can dig myself out of it. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Have a good night. Hit the like button going out and subscribe.
At the end of the day, like, I don't want to have to. I need somebody who's established. I make good money.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
Where'd you graduate from?
ICDC.
What do you do for a living?
OnlyFans.